Welcome to Batch 5 of the COMP3218 play of Coursework 2. I am Adrienne Chapman, a lecturer in the course, and with me today is...
Ioan Malinov, one of the demonstrators.
Excellent. And for Coursework 2, we asked the students to provide us a game that demonstrated narrative elements and had, according to one of three different fables that they could choose from. So our first game today is going to be... Actually, what is our first game today going to be? It's going to be Split.
Okay, so that's nice. Can you see the title screen?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm clicking play, I guess.
Ooh.
You were born trapped between two souls, Jack and Harry. The longer you...
Uh-oh. The longer you spend, probably harder to get apart.
Makes you act, and as a result, unfair last straw. Oh.
Oh my.
Your gran, who lives in a city to the north, is gravely ill. There may be a cure, but it has not yet been found.
Okay, there's a lot of drama going on here.
Renewing her will, leaving her massive inheritance when she dies. Your decisions throughout the game affect how the game is played and unlock new powers for each form. Wow. Okay. That sounds very... Choose wisely.
Choose wisely, yes. So we've had some very nice cutscenes to start us with.
Please go via the lake.
Is that Mom? Follow Mom.
Let me just... the volume is a bit too loud. I'll try to... Hopefully that's better.
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay. Oh, if you care for me at all, trust me. Ah, that's the...
Please go to the lake. Yeah.
Grandma? I think. No, that's the
I think that might be Mom.
Yeah. Okay, so that's... Wow, I feel like this is going to be a long game. Oh, please, please don't just bash into my home. Okay, sorry.
I love it.
I'll do it here. We really need some doors.
Well, interestingly, up in the left-hand corner, right, so optional, explore the village, and otherwise visit Graham in the city to the north. I'm assuming north is up.
Yeah.
But go via the lake. Let's make Mom happy.
Yeah. I assume the lake is... Oh, if you're planning on going into the forest, you should know pressing shift will allow you to sprint. Though if you... Okay, I'm breaking into the city. So, okay, yeah, it's a bit faster.
Okay.
That's good. So, I guess the forest and the city is north, and the lake is maybe again north?
Yeah, maybe.
There's a lot... okay, so this is like...
Your boundary.
Yeah, okay, so it's not... Okay, I guess I'll try to go north. And see, you're in the right place for a fight made up. Sorry. So it's interesting because the dialogue itself shows only when you get close and you don't have to press anything.
Yeah.
So it's like they're talking to you in a sense. So that's in a way nice. Oh.
Ooh.
So you're planning to go into the city. I hear there are bandits in the forest, you should be careful. So, red choice and... Oh!
We're going to the lake, make your mother happy here, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the bandits, forest, I'm going by the lake, right, okay. Here the other route is blocked anyway, okay. So that was... Wait, that was right.
We see the lake over to the right-hand side, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, what? Oh,
Harry and Jack. There's a drunk fisherman.
That's...
do we need more Harry? Wait, what are we doing?
I guess we're fighting the fisherman.
Okay.
Oh, what was that?
It looks like we need 20 of red and only 10 of blue. So either one of us could do this. Either Harry or Jack could do this.
So I select Harry. It says here select a target. So, oh, make sure all your units have taken their turn. Okay, okay. So I select the fish. Ah, okay. So it's selected and targeted. So I'm selected Harry and I'm targeting the fisherman and I can do this attack. Okay, and then I can select Jack to do. So one restores health, the other punch your target for 5 damage. Okay. And they attack me as well. Okay. And I can finish them. Okay. So that's kind of like an... I mean, it is an RPG
Yep.
battle system.
Although now we're walking around as the hide-based one.
Yeah, maybe the like it didn't feel like there was a tutorial for the battle in a sense. Like it just puts you in the battle and lets you see how it works, I guess.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that was the tutorial because it was a very a very weak opponent, right?
I mean, yeah, in a sense it works like a tutorial because it gives you a very weak opponent, not a lot to do, and you just have to press things and learn what to do. Okay, I guess this was the other route that you could have taken. So the music is nice. Oh, okay, so this is the no outsiders are allowed in the city. I'm sorry, but the likes of you can't stop me. And please, mister, I need to see my grand. Let's go with the blue.
Are we gonna play nice guy for a while?
Yeah, let's try that and see what they say. Sorry, son, I can't let you pass. Okay, I didn't tell you this, but there is secret sewer entrance to the left of me. Yeah, I could see that, yeah. Okay, thank you. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So we're inside. The Rat King stole my sister's teddy, so I need to kill him and take it back.
Wow.
Wow. Will you help me take him on? Someone as weak as you shouldn't be here, go home. I mean, yeah, but I will help you get your sister's teddy. Yeah, let's see how we can help her. It shouldn't be hard. Oh.
Our quest has changed that we're gonna kill the Rat King, and that Rat King looks really awful. The little rats around him.
I mean, he is standing in front of the stairs, so I'm not sure if I could have
gone past him anyways, yes.
Yeah.
But now we have the small boy to help us through too. Let's totally feed the small boy to the rats.
So it has a punch with 1 damage. Okay, that doesn't really help. So a kick is 5. Then, stun a target for the next turn. I would stun the Rat King because he probably has a very strong attack. Because I don't want to risk it. Their attacks are quite small.
Somebody chewed on Harry.
Okay, so then stun and punch. And out. Okay. So punch.
Does Jack have better? Let's use Jack, because doesn't Jack do? Oh.
So Jack has a few other attacks, and he can heal, restore health, and pray for the team, which gives them all health and yeah.
What's the small boy give us? Does the small boy give us anything at all? I missed
just
that.
Just punch it with 1
but
damage.
Not very effective. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll punch then leave the Rat King to attack and see. Okay, it's not that much. We can get rid of the rats like that, and we need to just power through the Rat King now.
Yep. This is just, I mean, I know this is the classic RPG, but it's really well done. I love that the player turn is going back and forth. I love the stack.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, okay. It has nice sound effects.
Yeah. So I think while you are engaged in this gripping battle, I am going to start walking through some of the components of our marking criteria. So we're going to start up in the quality side. And actually, we're going to start on the bugs level. So it looks to me like this game is playable and reasonably complex, and there are no obvious bugs. I have not seen you stumble into any bugs at this point at all. So I think we're in the excellent category on this one.
For now, yeah, it's pretty well made actually.
Yes, it definitely appears that way. So we're gonna start there, and then we're gonna move on to looking at the information design or the presentation. So information design and aesthetics. In this case, I actually think, so we're looking around, key information is shown clearly, consistent and appealing graphics, and good use of audio, both effects and or music. So we have very nice music that you're enjoying. We've got effects when the rats take damage.
A lot of sound effects that are in the right place and sound nice.
The images themselves, the graphics, are both appealing and consistent. And I think the information is shown actually very nicely. That you know, up in the left-hand corner, it's there if we need it, but it's mostly out of the way. The quest, as you were saying, these little boxes, when you just walk up to somebody, you don't have to do anything; they just kind of appear. It's only when we have to make a choice that the bigger dialogue box comes up and allows you to click into it. You can interact with things. You can go in and out of the houses. I think in general, the information design on this, it's clear where the boundaries are, is actually done really well. So I think that's in the excellent category.
Yeah, so I saved the boy, and that's his mother, I guess, and because I did a nice thing, she told me that she has a potion and gave it to me.
Ah, where does the potion go? It's just in our pockets? Do we have an inventory somewhere?
I suppose just so no inventory that I can.
I wonder if it'll come up in our next RPG. If instead of just praying, maybe you have a potion in there as well.
Or maybe I can use it on my grandmother.
Maybe, yeah. Or yourself. Aren't we supposed to be detaching ourselves? You found it!
On the second try, okay. Cope, my dear grandson, I'm so happy to see you. Won't you sit here with me for a while? I'm sorry, old woman, but I can't wait for my inheritance. I will, but first take this medicine from a friend. I mean, it could be... Yeah, but it could be a fake medicine. But okay. Oh, you make amends with your mother and will continue to be a happy family.
Was that the end of the game?
You successfully evaded the guards and escaped the city without negative consequences. I assume, yeah. You helped the child, and as a result the mother gave you a handsome reward. Oh, that's nice. After giving your grand the potion that the boy found on the Rat King, she makes a speedy recovery. Thanks for playing our game, press escape to go to the main menu. Okay, that was actually quite nicely, like a short, but still it felt...
Yeah, it was a set of cutscenes that kind of gave this nice little epilogue, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, because this time we played it like such the good kid there.
Yeah.
Play it the ambiguous kid. Sometimes you're nice, sometimes you're mean.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Can
So
I skip?
while you start this play and we follow
Ah.
you making random choices, or you could play completely bad kid. Entirely your choice. Let's talk about the set of mechanics that we have here. So we do have a set of mechanics. So, for example, we can talk to people. We can make choices in terms of, going left or right. We have in our RPG sessions, we have the ability to choose, which actions to take. Are there other mechanics that I'm missing at this point?
Mm, yeah, I'm not sure what else. So I don't know, by the way, if you noticed, but when I chose the bad choice, I guess, the red choice, the boy changed to the other uh, boy. So because you are two,
Uh-huh.
so you're the good and the bad, and it changed to you know red eyes, and so the other boy is the bad one,
Right.
which is a very nice touch.
Yes.
Okay, so in this case, the bandit has a
Is
lot more
full
health.
health. Actually, a real battle as opposed to a tutorial battle.
Yeah, but in this case, Harry has a very strong 10 damage
A
attack.
spirit beam.
So I'll do that. So I assume that the way it works is if you choose to be good or bad, those two get better attacks, or so if you chose to be good, you would get a healing attack, but if you chose
Yeah.
to be bad, you'd get uh, a stronger attack.
Yep. Yep. So I like this. We should remember this when we were talking about how the game and narrative work together. Or the story engine itself. So I think in this case, I think we actually have a wide set of complementary mechanics and intuitive, smooth, usable controls that lead to enjoyable and meaningful play at this point.
Yeah,
Given the fact that we've now seen kind of how the mechanics change based on these choices, we do actually have a wide and complementary set of mechanics.
Yeah.
Let's go talk about the story engine at this point. While you kind of, are you going to make a bad decision? Are you going ambiguous, or are you bad?
I already made one bad and one good, so now I can.
You could
I'm
be good
already
or bad.
ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So go bad on this one.
Yeah.
Did we just kill a kid?
I'm not sure.
All right. So while you fight the Rat King, we're going to talk about the story engine. So in this case, an effective story engine that is well integrated with the game world, and there are examples where the story impacts the game, and the story is impacted by events from the game world. So in this case, the story is actually impacted by the game because our choice of, am I going to be good kid or bad kid, and how much is that good kid or bad kid? We've already seen how that's impacting our choice of hits, damage, powers, basically. Do we have examples where events from where the story is impacted by events from the game world?
The story is impacted by
events in the game world. So, for example, if you lose to the Rat King, it might be hard. You look like you're already winning.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you lose to the Rat King, does the story change at all?
We can see that if I lose, and it looks like I'm.
Looks like Jack might have totally bit the big one, huh?
Okay. Oh. Okay, so I try again maybe? Ah, okay. So it just puts you back to
So
science.
basically there was like a checkpoint there, huh? That basically you died and it's effectively a checkpoint.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I'd almost say is a bit of a shame because, I mean, that would have been a perfect example of how, where something in the game actually impacts the story. So maybe, you just died and nobody mourns your body because your mom was already mad at you and you never got to your grandma.
Yeah, that sounds, yeah, like a little bit of a missed opportunity, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they were probably remembering their lessons about checkpointing and don't make us play it again, but you could have brought that actually into an interesting part of the storyline. Okay, so at this point, I'm struggling a little bit to see how the story is impacted by events in the game world, and it might be actually that's not true. I will bet you a Coke that when you win the Rat King this time, when we get to the very end in that narrative scene, the story that's told is going to be a little bit different. Maybe you don't get the reward money, maybe your gran dies, but your mom, sobbingly tells you she'll love you no matter what.
Okay.
So I have a feeling that it is both. I think that it is a little bit weak just to have it at the very end there. That it'd be nicer if it was, had more examples kind of littered throughout the game.
Yeah. I'll just quickly. So the town is quite large actually. There is a lot of houses. And I assume that a lot of them have funny dialogues.
Right.
So
go to Graham's house, you know where that is.
okay, so I was bad, then good, then bad, and now I'll be good and see what happens.
Okay.
Wait, won't you?
You said you were gonna be good, right?
Ah, but I didn't get the potion now.
Yeah. Yep.
Take your disobedience anymore, so you end up homeless.
Yep. So now we're in our narrative epilogue, and things have differently, have happened. So in this case, we still get out of the city, but Mom's not really happy with us. There's a missing kid. Oh my goodness, this is morbid.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to cure her. So in this case, elements of the game do indeed change the end. It would be nicer though if it was not just this end scene that actually happened during the gameplay. So let's talk about, while you replay it in some way, we're going to talk about agency. So in this case, we're looking for an interactive story with several branching points, some interesting choices, and a few attempts to manage player agency, such as using topography, narrative patterns, illusion of choice. And it's interesting. So I see that they have an interactive story and that there are many branching points here. I'm not entirely sure that they are managing player agency in any way.
What do you mean?
Well, so they haven't restricted, or they haven't focused you, they haven't changed your end results by any of your previous choices in a way that makes it a meaningful choice.
So I want to see now, because I chose the right path, but it looks like that. Okay, so it's blocked. So because I thought that I can actually choose one but do the other. But it looks like it
just keeps you marshaled in the same direction once you basically made a choice. So good in this case is an interactive story with several branching points, interesting choices, and a few attempts to manage player agency, such as topology, narrative patterns, illusions of choice. I actually think that's kind of where we are right now. So because we do have agency, right? We're making interesting choices, but and given Harry and Jack's duality, we can see some of that in the fight scenes.
now I'm fighting the bandit because I went back. So I'm not sure if this is going to level me up, or maybe not. So we'll see later.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about poetics while you fight the oh, you're past the drunken bandit.
Yeah.
So for poetics, what we're looking for is that the narrative and gameplay support one another as mechanics emphasize the themes of the story.
It does, yeah. I think that there is some.
I think there's some. So the one a little bit lower from that is narrative and gameplay complement one another, as the key mechanics are in keeping with the themes of the story. And actually, I think I feel a little more comfortable there. So for example, so some of the things where I feel this is slightly falling down with is I can't actually match it to which myth or which fable we're talking about. And I can see that after I played this a few times, that some of my choices kind of end that story in the epilogue, which it'd be interesting from a storytelling perspective how they kind of get there, but it is very binary. Oh, look, I didn't fight the guards, so of course I escaped from the guards, and I didn't save the kid, so he's on a missing poster. So it doesn't feel like it's hugely supportive towards that entire theme of the story, but it definitely complements it.
Yeah, and let's say that I mean, and the thing where you die and you just restart.
Yeah, they could have done so much more with that in terms of the narration and the story that could be folded around it. So we're going to talk about techniques at this point, and what we're looking for is ascending pacing with a clear final peak, which I think we have, right? Is it the Rat King's fight, or we get to Grandma's? Possibly we have more than one peak because we have our fight with our either bandit or I forget the guy on the other side.
Yeah.
And then the Rat King. Although that's kind of hard. There is some pacing, so I'm struggling with this one because I feel like there is some pacing, but it flounders. Like we don't have these additive choices. They do great in the tutorials, so I feel like they're teaching us very well, but I have no sense of heightened pacing. I think that's how I'm feeling on this one. But they show multiple game rating techniques. So they have dialogues, they have cutscenes, and all of that's really well done. So I think so. Satisfactory is some pacing, ascending pacing, and good is very much ascending pacing with multiple game rating techniques. So I think we're kind of between those two.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah, it does sound.
And then we are going to I'm going to pull up the game notes that we asked them to submit with this. So in Split, and we're going to go look at the feedback. All right, and the feedback is, where it goes. The tutorial aspect of the game, I'm so glad you heard this. They are absolutely wrapped up in their quality, and we've appreciated every second of it. You've done very well in those. I think they heard this feedback and they did an excellent job at it. The second piece of feedback was about the length of the game, to keep it short, 5 to 10 minutes, so that we get a chance to play it, which you've done another excellent job at.
Yeah.
And we have been able to kind of explore the different endings. So I'm glad. So they basically cut off another split join, but it didn't change the content, and that allowed us to play more. And I think that was another excellent choice.
Yeah.
And the third piece of feedback was about the game and its relation to the fable. it could
Oh,
they weren't sure if it
wait.
had to be strict or loosely following the fable, but we told them to portray the moral of the story. And so this one goes for showing positive rewards for acting kindly. There are lots of different endings, but one ending happens if you're evil, and the other, acting nice, means that there's bail and other good things happen to you.
Yeah.
So I think they actually heard the feedback and they did a phenomenal job at it.
Yeah, they did quite well. And also, if you look at it, I was good all the way until the end, where I chose the bad choice, and I have to attack my grandma.
Yeah.
So it's very. I didn't expect that.
Yep. Okay, I think we need to move on to our next game now.
Yeah.
And now on to our second game, the Curse of Osiris.
Okay, so they have a nice piano, very mellow song as the intro, so I guess let's play. Henry. My friend, I hope you slept fine as well. It has been so long. Actually, the sound is a bit too much, maybe. So... Okay. It has been so long. The last time we saw each other, my oldest Eric was maybe a boy. Okay. I'm reaching out to you after all this time to let you know that I finally done it. Found that what we spent all those years chasing after. The stuff of Osiris, wow. It truly is a splendor to behold. The very power of the god of death himself courses through its frame. Ah, so that's the god of death, okay. We were looking in the wrong place all this time, old friend. Long had it left the Valley of the Kings. I traced its steps after it left Egypt. The Achaemenids, the Greeks, the Romans, the Byzantines, and finally the Ottomans. It is quite remarkable that all this time it was hidden in plain sight, on display in the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. It took quite some convincing and a lot of money to get the Turkish authorities to part with it. You simply must come to my manor and see it for yourself. After the many years we spent on its trail in Egypt, I'm sure you could not resist coming to see it. Oh, and pay no mind to those ridiculous stories we heard from locals back in the day. My possession of it has not caused me to just magically fall over and die. I look forward to seeing you after all these years soon. Your friend Henry. So that was an introduction
that was an epic introduction.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we are there in front of the manor now. Oh, okay. So we immediately start with dialogue options.
It looks like we've got some politeness and some rudeness and, you know...
Yeah, just...
And some kind of ambiguous just in between.
Yeah, let's start nice.
Okay, we'll play this one nice.
Good evening, sir. My name is James Penfold. I am here for dinner with Duke Henry Crane. I believe you are expecting me? We are indeed, sir. The Duke has made all the necessary preparation for your arrival. Please do come in. Thank you. Please hang your coat and shoes over there. Once you're done, I will escort you. Okay. Lead the way. Okay, Mr. Penford, may I present you to the Duke of Hampshire, His Grace Henry Crane, world-renowned Egyptologist, former member of Parliament for... That's quite enough of the formalities. Jeffrey, thank you, Jim. I'm so glad you made it. Henry, you look old. It's been a long time. Henry. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's good to see you, old friend. So wait, who's Henry? I assume this person here.
I think the old guy's Henry.
So this was the butler, maybe...
Jeffries, yeah.
Henry, please come and sit. Dinner is almost ready, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, please tell the kitchen to make preparation to serve the meal immediately. Of course, my lord. Ah, where are my manners? You remember my dear wife, Patricia, don't you, Jim?
Oh my goodness, this is getting complicated. So many characters.
But of course, hello again, Duchess. Oh, Patricia, we remember that. Did you see that?
No, I missed it. It
Uh,
went by too quickly. What happened?
so I said, oh, hello, dear Duchess, or something like that, and it said in the corner that Patricia will remember that.
Right.
So it's like you know,
Like a,
the games that do that.
yep.
Okay, it's nice to see you again after all these years, my dear. What are you up to these days? Still spending a lot of time in Egypt? I had to give up, unfortunately not. No, I gone once has moved on from archaeology. Family first, yeah.
Patricia will remember. We know what Patricia wants.
Yeah, had to give it up family first. Right you are. I envy your wife. My husband will regularly travel the world at his age. And still regularly. We've been over this. You're welcome to join me anytime, Patricia. Well, I do hope the purpose of your visit is to catch up with my husband and not to spark his obsession into that damned rot again. For the last time, it's stuff, Patricia. Please excuse my wife. She has become quite cynical about my work in recent years. It's high time you retire as you promised Henry. What happened thousands of years ago is not as important as what is happening to your family right now. Yeah, I see
Yep.
why family. That's quite enough, Patricia. We have a guest. Hmm. The main doors to the hall once again swing open, with Eric
Wait,
and Anna storming into the room.
Eric is a kin at least. We know Eric is somebody's son. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who Anna is.
You were never as good as me at tennis, big brother.
Okay.
Oh, do be quiet, sister. You've been back from your escapades in South America for less than a week, and I'm beginning to wonder why I missed you.
Well, I feel
That's
like we're reading a novel at this point.
yeah, but let's see what happens. So that's easy when I'm not here. Nobody's around to beat you at everything. Oh, we shall see about that when we spar one another later. I've been practicing my pairing, you know. Please, brother, a good pairing. Yeah, okay, so they are like a normal brother-sister pair, I guess. That's enough, both of you. Sit down, we have a guest. Eric immediately sits down, whilst Anna kisses Henry on the cheek and then sits down. Allow me to introduce a former colleague of mine, and perhaps the second most brilliant archaeologist I have ever known. Bar myself, of course, Jim Penfold. So you're the famous Jim Penfold that my father speaks so highly of. I'm Anna. I only just found out you exist. Uh, Nice to meet you. And she will remember that, okay? I've read you followed in your father's footsteps from the news. She's indeed, although she still has a lot to learn. As you keep reminding me, father, I just came back from a trip to Mexico where we just discovered a new Olmec archaeological site. Fascinating. You must tell me more over dinner. Oh please, the last thing I want to hear about is some old rocks when I'm trying to enjoy my caviar. Do be quiet, Eric. You remember my son, right, Jim? Long time no time. It's pleasure to see you again. Yes, when is dinner? Mind your manners, Eric. Jeffrey re-enters the room with several plates in hand. Dinner is served. Well, that was quick. I was hoping to discuss the stuff with you a bit before dinner, but I guess that we'll have to wait now. I am very much looking forward to hearing about it. For now, I'd like to propose a toast before our meal. To old, to old friends. To old friends. Oh, okay, something happened. And the music changed a bit. As everyone takes a drink, Henry's face begins to pale up. I seem to suddenly be feeling unwell. Father, what's wrong? Henry begins coughing and choking, his eyes go red and he begins to start uncontrollably frothing at the mouth. Wow. Henry. Dad, don't just stand there, Jeffrey. Get the first aid kit, call an ambulance. So from what is happening, I assume most of the game is going to be like this. Where it's
lots and lots and lots of text, huh?
Yeah, right away. Henry falls to the floor, blood starts to pour. Oh, okay. The curse. With that final word, Henry draws his final breath and dies. Tricia screams in despair. Oh god, he's dead. Father, maybe he was right about the curse after all.
Maybe, or maybe there was just a little too much text.
You did this, Jeffrey. You poisoned him. Wait, you did this, Jeffrey. You poisoned him. Me? No, sir. I can assure you that I did not. Enough. This is murder investigation now, and whoever perpetuated it is probably in this room. And what gives you the right to take charge? I do this for a living, my dear boy. I will find out who killed your father. What rules you out? You were here too. Nothing, I suppose, but until the police arrive, I will take it upon myself to investigate. You can choose to believe my findings if you want. All of you, remain in this room for now. I'm going to take a look around. Ah! I can click on items to interact with them, and possibly find some clues to solve this mystery. I can also check my journal by clicking the book icon on the top right corner of the screen to review evidence that I have found. I should be wary of the time though, we don't want the killer to escape. Okay. I should talk to Jeffrey when I'm ready to move on.
Which one's Jeffrey? Oh, he's over in the left hand, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's like a point and click thing. Okay, so let's start with piano music sheet, I guess. Ah, okay. Music sheet for Beethoven's 5th Symphony. Okay.
A broken clock.
Why is it broken? The clock is stuck at 3 o'clock exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Burnt? No, that's
Burnt
interesting.
note. Oh, that seems to be addressed to Mr. Lopes.
Huh.
Mr. Lopez. What's under the rug? Can we see under the rug? Portrait of the Crane family. Happier times.
No. Okay. Henry's body. Okay. Is there anything? Blink eyes and find out that you clearly died of some kind of poisoning. Okay. So I guess let's see what he's coupled with red wine. Okay, so it's a normal cup from the looks of it. Is he the only one who drank wine?
Yeah. What are some of the... There's something else coming. Oh, newspaper clipping. Yeah, what's the newspaper clipping?
An article from an old newspaper discussing Henry Crane's appointment as a Chancellor of the British Museum. Interesting. So he was.
Can we go in the kitchen? Oh.
Okay. Why cancel? I assume maybe not. Let's go to the garden.
Oh.
I mean, the only thing that's left is speak to
Jeffrey?
Yes. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. That is so I'm going to accept them from here for now. Now tell me, where are the kitchens located? I would like to investigate the food and drink for foul play. Also, you couldn't go to the kitchen or the garden because it was...
We weren't ready yet, yeah.
Yeah, he said nobody get out of the room until I'm ready, so yeah. I'm not sure if you're allowed to snoop around, Sir Detective, or not. My husband is dead, Jeffrey. Even if there is a chance he can catch who did this, he has my full permission to search the manor. You can let him snoop around the house. He could have been the one who killed him for all we know. Now is not the time for your nonsense, Eric. All I care about now is finding who killed father. That... Okay. I'm also appreciated Duchess. Oh, Henry, how could this happen? Yeah, so this is a murder mystery.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Now the family's gonna go to the garden and we're gonna go to the kitchen, right? Oh, where do we want to go?
Kitchen, because let me check the. So this is all the
Mm-hmm.
things that you check. Lit candle. Okay. Lit candle in a bright room such as this? Why? Maybe I can ask someone nearby. Why is there a lit candle? Just before your arrival, I made a trip to the attic for some clothes for the meal. What else is kept in the attic? Lots of old documents and antiques. Okay, so I can go to the attic. There's rat poison. Interesting. Standard grade rat poison. It seems to have been opened recently. Bread. Okay, when Slideo cheese. Smells so like cheese. Okay.
What's the bread? I mean, I know it is bread, but does he
uh,
smell anything if we go see the bread?
Freshly baked bread. It looks delicious. And I think that's. Oh, let's talk to Jeffrey. Hello again, Mr. Wolf. I thank you for accommodation in your kitchen in these troubling times. How can you help? How long have you been working for the Duke? Just over a year. Servant. Oh, also. So it's, a master. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like it may be
Mm-hmm.
a Sandman I trained as a priest, then something
Oh, right.
else.
Osiris is priest here, huh?
It could be uh, only myself and my assistants have keys. So there's uh,
Mm. So depending on the questions we ask, um,
yeah, finish. There is much work to be done.
so one of the things that I find interesting in this, and I'm really enjoying, is that um, depending on how we interact with the characters, we're getting different types of information, or I suspect we're getting different types of information off of him.
Yeah,
And I think one of the hardest parts that's going to be on this game is that um, it is an incredibly thorough and long game, and it's going to be hard to judge. We only have a limited amount of time
yeah.
to actually play through each and every game. So how about this? From here, I would like you, don't even bother reading out all the things. Just try to, click around, see if you can solve it, get as far as you can. And I'm going to start taking us through the marking criteria. I feel at least at this point, we've noticed that it is a detective or a mystery solving type of game.
We
And
still
we can
don't
go from there.
know which game, which story of the three, or at least I'm not sure which story of the three it might be it.
I think it is the crane and the wolf and the crane, mostly because of the names, not because of
Ah,
any other hints that they've given us. But that's okay. Let's talk. I think we're going to start with bugs at this point. True.
uh,
I actually think the game is reasonably complex, and there are no obvious bugs. Uh, we've seen a bunch of different. There's the cutscenes, there's the dialogue boxes, there's interacting with the area around you. We've now been in various different rooms, and we have yet to do things like bump into a wall that's not there, or have an inventory not show up properly on our list.
yeah,
So I think we're easily in that category. Um,
and it, in a sense, it's quite uh, I mean, is it complex or there's some complexity to it with all the text and correctly displaying all that and not bugging out and stuff like that?
So are you saying that it's reasonably complex, but it's not very complex?
I mean, I'm not sure. It's I mean, yeah, it is complex because there's a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of things.
I agree actually. I think so. I do wonder if we are um, budging up towards higher complexity. So I'm a little bit I'm not willing to take us all the way up to the very next category, um, because we are relying a lot on the same dialogue boxes. The scenes don't change that much. We do though have an inventory, a room that you're in that you can explore, dialogue boxes. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think, but all of them are very well done, and no bugs at all. So now let's talk about information design or the presentation. So information design and aesthetics. In this case, there as we said, there is a lot going on. We actually have there's not anything that I would actually change, I think, about the information design. The information is exactly where we want to see it. We saw when Patricia approved of what we were saying. We have an inventory that we can click through, and not only click through to see what's in the inventory, but inspect what's in each of the items in the inventory. The graphics are and cohesive. Um, and yeah, how's the music and the audio?
uh, yeah, it fits quite well with the mode of the game. So when before the death and before the first death, it was happy and all that, and then suddenly it went dark, and now it's very dark, the music.
Right,
And there's like
right.
for when the letters go through, there's like beep 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 beep, so
Yep.
another kind of sound effect. And other
Excellent. So
than that, yeah.
I think they're actually, I mean, the information quality here, I think is really well done. I don't think they're quite yet at novel ways of showing key information, but they're definitely key information is shown clearly, consistently, and appealing graphics with audio. Um, so that's that one. Now we're going to talk about gameplay, and the question is whether we have a set of mechanics or a wide set of mechanics. So in this case, we can inspect objects in the room. We can question Jeffries and other people and
Mm-hmm.
answer in different ways. Um, we can re-review our inventory and basically know what we know written down.
Yep.
You can move around. Um, that seems to be, to me, a set of complementary mechanics. Um,
So by the way, you don't you click and then it goes there. You don't press any arrow keys or anything to move around.
right. So it's very smooth control then. And now as we are reaching out, we're seeing more and more places that we can go. Um,
Yeah.
so it's actually a very I'm actually moving this into like a very detailed and complex game. Um,
Well thought of. Yeah. It
really
feels
well
like a
thought out. Exactly.
yeah. The narrative part feels very. Oh.
Okay. So let's actually, since we're talking about the narrative, move on down to the story engine at this point. Um, so what we're looking for is an effective story engine that is well integrated with the game world, and what we're looking for is that there are many examples where the story impacts the game, and the story is impacted by events from the game world. Um, So in this case, the story impacts the game world. I suspect, although it's really hard because the game is so long and I mean, it's well done, but it's long, so it's hard. We're not going to have a chance at this point to interact with the characters in different ways. So typically what we would often do is we would play this like as all good, right? Or all polite person, and then we'd play it all as nasty person. And we'd kind of see how the story changes and how different people interact and change. Oh no, is Anna gone now? And a pendant, right. Wow.
Yeah, so it's...
Oh my goodness. Um.
Oh, wait, time is up.
Oh.
No, oh no.
Oh no, we didn't do.
Oh no.
Wow.
Hmm.
It was Anna. I don't
Okay,
know. Pick it was Anna.
so it's not the butler. Now that the kill has been identified, it is time to go and end this raid. Tied up. Wait. Oh, thank you, God. Jeffrey is not who he says he is. Huh. Oh. Okay, now for it, and I'm finding he could back. So. So it sounds like she might have planted clues against Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Okay, company magazine. Ah.
Okay.
You poisoned him when you kissed him on the cheek. Oh, that's... my own poison making. Huh, and the fake kidnapping by means of the secret tunnels. Setting up Jeffrey, yeah. Ah. So,
The
wow.
twists. We are reading a lovely novel here.
Yeah. Wow. Ah. Lucky for set.
Whew.
Okay, my third dive. Ah.
All right. So I do feel like we are actually seeing some examples now where the story impacts the game world and the game world is impact sorry, the story is impacted by the game world. I think this is
Yeah.
actually doing really well done.
I actually wonder if I didn't check some of the items that
We're
right
actually
now.
talked about in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the problems that we can't really see to see how much of this is just like it would have come out anyways, or if it was truly a very good story engine. Let's talk about the agency that's available in this. So we're looking for an interactive story with several branching points, interesting choices, and an effective system for managing player agency using topology, narrative patterns, illusion of choice. I actually think they've done an excellent job at that. There are many branching points. There are lots of different interesting choices as you get to choose either how you interact with dialogue or what room you go into next. There's a timer counting down, so you can't do all of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's using topology. I mean, it might even be using the illusion of choice. Maybe we would find out the same things depending on how you answer these people.
Or maybe yeah, depending on what you do, another person is the killer. That would be very interesting if it.
That would be very, very interesting. Unfortunately, we don't have time to play through that. Um, so let's talk about the poetics. I think in this case, the narrative and gameplay reinforce one another as elements of the story are conveyed through the experience of play, or narrative and gameplay support one another and emphasize the themes of the story. Actually, I don't think we're reinforcing. I think we're in support at this point.
Yeah.
That it's really well done. And I think that, I mean, we've mentioned some of the things we would hope for in a real game, or in a full game, and getting some of those in, or an example or two of them in a way that we can observe would help with that reinforcement. So then there's the question about pacing, peaking, and game writing techniques. So we've seen both dialogues and cutscenes. So we have multiple writing techniques. The pacing is a little bit. There's some ascending pace. This is actually where I struggle a little bit. We have a short game, and we know it's supposed to be a short game. And I think the pacing was actually way off for such a short game. So it was absolutely beautiful in that there really was a lot of really lovely. I mean, you could have been writing a novel here that I would have enjoyed reading.
Yeah.
But for a short game where we're trying to get to some of this, the pacing was just a little bit off. In the same way that the timer's going down, but we actually got so absorbed in the game we didn't even notice the timer going down. So is there some way that we could have increased the pacing? You know, maybe somebody keeps forcing us at some points, tell us who this is, right, to kind of keep this pacing going forward. So I feel like there's some pacing, which is kind of down at the satisfactory level, but there's definitely multiple writing techniques. And the appropriate use of multiple writing techniques, which is kind of up at the excellent level. So I think we're kind of in the middle here, which is around a good. We then should take a quick look at the feedback that we provided to them, and then how they adapted to it. So the feedback they were given to make sure timed advancement was obvious to the player. You did, but we got so absorbed in the game that, oh my goodness, we forgot about it. We were also told to make sure that we have lots of choices, so we attempted to make a more branching narratives. You guys did some awesome branching narratives there. And by having dialogue options which may change the opinion of characters towards the player. I think that was really well done.
Yeah.
So they have to weigh up various factors to decide where they would like to visit, because there's not enough I love this. It was great that there's not enough time to figure out to go visit them all. And so we have to use this you know, how we're interacting with the players to make these decisions as well. It's really, really well done. Another piece of feedback was to ensure that any narrative branches merge back together, bar a singular distinct ending at the end. So when making dialogue choices, the different choices can lead to different branches of dialogue, or the choices may converge back to a single branch.
Okay.
So they have cutscenes that trigger at certain times, which brings the narrative back to the same place with possible minor differences. And despite the choices the player has made thus far, the narrative splits only right at the end based on the choices for one of the three endings. One of the other feedback was that since we mentioned the game was a murder mystery game, one of the choices the player could make would fit the game idea. The choices instead continuing with the mystery. The player would instead prioritize saving a hostage. Therefore, choice is not locked behind a single click, making the choice more fluid, where the player can choose to follow this route or decide to stop and try to solve the mystery at the end, at any time up to the final action of the route. Although if the player chooses to do this, they would have, using the time, they could be investigating the other rooms. So they have really thought through. I think they took to heart all the feedback that they were given. That it was articulated, interpreted, and reasonable changes have been made with success for sure. that were clearly in that category. So really well done on this particular game. I think it was a joy to watch being played. I think the only thing I would caution is that as a prototype game, I would worry about it. We're not going to have a chance to play it through a second time, and it does not highlight in a quick and easy play, that you do absolutely do all of these things. So if you're being asked either for a portfolio or an interview to actually design something that will showcase these things, tighten it up even more, make it a faster turnaround, either fewer rooms, or I would suggest much less novel dialogue around each thing. Cool.
Yeah.